So as we're getting all of these Switch 2 leaks, it makes you wonder sometimes. Some people be wondering what's gonna be the main game Nintendo throws at us when they release Switch 2. If they don't give us anything, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? You can give us the console, but there's no games? Nah. I think we're gonna get some. And that's probably why the Switch 2 was delayed. I'm kind of thinking that like maybe they weren't finished with a few games and they wanted to push those out with the Nintendo Switch 2, so they kind of like want to hold off a little bit, because something that's really bad for consoles is that when you release a game and you have nothing to give your audience, like, well, guess you could scroll through the menu or something. I don't know, but I don't know what Nintendo is thinking if they just give us the console with no games. But go check out Nintendo Land. Go subscribe to them. Nintendo's big game of 2025 is a rumor. Most likely.
So we already talked about every single Mario game we could get this year and every single Nintendo game that actually might get announced this year. But in today's video, I want to focus on the big stuff, like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Yeah, obviously that's not what I'm talking about here. I know I bring up that game a lot, but trust me when I say I have no hate for Donkey Kong. I mean, I told you Tropical Freeze is one of my favorite games of all time. So I absolutely loved what Donkey Kong Country Returns brought to the table first when I played it so long ago. It's just the fact that it's coming out for its second time after already coming out on the 3DS, so it doesn't hit.
See, here's the thing. Here's what I think about that. People are complaining about how Donkey Kong Country Returns has been like ported twice or whatever, or has been released twice, I guess. But there's other ways to play it too. But anyways, there has been like released twice. But people are also saying, hey, put Twilight Princess on the Switch. You know how many times that game's been ported? It's been ported twice. So why is it any different? I don't know.
Hit that heavy game mark for me this year. I'm pretty sure any remake or remaster doesn't do that for a lot of people, including Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I know a lot of people are excited for that game and there is going to be added content, but it's not the heavy hitters that I'm looking for. So yes, in today's video, I'm talking about what I believe is going to be the biggest game of the year. Right before we get into that, you guys have been so excited for Switch 2, probably just as much as me, because we got 662 brand new subscribers yesterday, which is nuts. Like, genuinely one of the most subscribers we have ever gotten in a single day. So I want to thank you guys so very much, and let's see how many we can get in today's video. Probably nowhere near that, but let's try to at least get half. But thank you guys so much. You're amazing, and let's dive into what the biggest Nintendo game could be in 2025. I want to start off with what we know, and I'm going to say right now, I think Metroid Prime 4 Beyond has a chance to be the biggest game of the year. Not just because it's the only really big game that we know of so far. I believe there's going to be others. However, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this game just because it's Metroid, and the series is relatively niche for a lot of people still. It's not one of those big mainline Mario.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you kind of play, that you kind of have to be really, like, it's a niche title. It's not for everyone, definitely.
Zelda, Pokemon, you know what I mean? So a lot of people aren't really seeing the whole vision of this. I think this game is going to be extremely popular, especially if it does a lot for Switch 2. If this is an out-the-gate Switch 2 game or some type of cross-release between Switch 1 or Switch 2 with an awesome campaign, awesome graphics, cinematics that are like really high level as well. Also, if it has an online multiplayer mode like Metroid Prime 2 Echoes did, where you could battle others online, I couldn't see how possibly this game couldn't be one of the greatest for next year. With an amazing campaign, multiplayer, awesome graphics and story, seriously, what else could you ask for from this game? The past Metroid Prime games have reviewed very well, so I'm very curious to see how well this one's going to do, especially with its restarted development to the point where they wanted to make this game as perfect as they could.
The game's taken so long to release. They announced it back when the first Switch came out, and it still hasn't gotten here, and we're talking about Switch 2 and how it might be on the Switch 2. So it's so weird.
It makes me believe that they know what they're doing and that this game is going to come out without a hitch, and I can't wait to see what they've been cooking up. Another huge Switch 2 game that's probably going to be debuted on Switch 2 is Pokemon Legends ZA.
Put the
Pokemon
goat in
Legends
it.
absolutely changed the formula for Pokemon, allowing us to move around
Put the
in kind
goat
of
in
an
the game,
open
bro.
world or open zones landscapes, which
He's the
allowed
goat.
us to go around and collect Pokemon and battle pretty much wherever we wanted to, which was really unique and cool at the time. Throwing Pokeballs and smacking them in the back of the head is something that would become extremely addictive, and even wanted fans to see more games like this, and started brainstorming other Legends games that the Pokemon company could actually make, and of course, we're getting Pokemon Legends ZA. This game will be referencing the 9th gen of Pokemon and placing us in Lumio City. In which way, we really don't know so far, but it seems like it's going to be super interesting and maybe being more city-based instead of nature.
I'm glad Pokemon has taken the time to like cook it up a little bit more and not like push it out this year.
But either way, I think this is going to be a huge hit for a lot of gamers in 2025. I can definitely see this being one of the best sellers, but will it be the best game? I don't know. It's up to Game Freak to finally fix the problems with their games, with it being just horrible looking for one, and extremely glitchy, laggy, and unfinished. So hopefully this game is maximized to its full potential on Switch 2 hardware. That's really what I'm hoping. Who could have seen this one coming? Of course, there's going to be two on this list that you saw coming from a mile away. It's definitely more than time for the next 3D Mario game. And I'm not just saying, yes, obviously this is going to be a huge game for this year if it is actually releasing, but I think it's going to be one of the biggest games Nintendo's ever made. It's been so long since Odyssey, I'm starting to lose my mind here. I think there's a chance of a really huge open world 3D Mario game that takes inspiration.
Yeah, we really do need a new 3D Mario game. And that takes inspiration from Breath of the Wild, maybe? Is that what he's about to say?
From Bowser's Fury,
Okay. I was going to say, like, more open world like Breath of the Wild. But I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Side mode to Mario 3D World, which gives us this massive landscape with multiple different terrains, different biomes to just kind of explore, run around, platform on, swim in, and do platforming challenges in order to collect some type of power stars, moons, or whatever they want to go with this time around. If this game is on the same scale as Breath of the Wild and the same amount of ambitiousness, giving us a massive world to explore with tons of...
Bring back Mr. Cappy here, bro. Make it Mario Odyssey 2, but just obviously bigger and better, obviously. I'm totally fine with that. Mario Odyssey 1 came out on the Switch 1. Mario Odyssey 2 comes out on the Switch 2. How appropriate.
Things to do. I can't see how possibly this couldn't be Game of the Year. I mean, this just sounds like a dream come true waiting to happen, and they're probably perfecting all the last minute details as we speak right now.
Think of this, bro. They be cooking up something nice, bro. I just know it. And I wonder how long they've been cooking it up. Like, how... what Nintendo has it locked behind, because it hasn't been leaked. We haven't seen anything. So this is crazy. Like they got to get some trustworthy people working on this game so it's not leaked.
I mean, I seriously just can't wait to see the thing and see exactly what they've been working on for so long now. It almost makes me want to believe 100% that it has to be some type of open world Mario game with the long development time. This game is going to be massive for tons of reasons, especially if it's a launch or a holiday title, which also brings me to my next game that could also fit in the same category as a launch or holiday title, and that's Mario Kart. 2 years of classic Mario Kart tracks coming back.
Mario Kart 8 been around for a long time.
In the form of DLC and the booster pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think the very last thing people want to see with the Switch 2 reveal is freaking Yoshi's Circuit again. I mean, I love that track, but come on. Yes, please show us a new Mario Kart. I have like this irrational fear that we're going to get this new trailer and it's just going to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe shown off again, but this time in a higher frame rate and resolution, it just looks better and you could play it now on Switch 2. Please.
Could you imagine, bro? Nintendo's a company that might actually do that, bro.
Please drop this game in a freaking pit somewhere in Arizona. I can't do it anymore. I love Mario Kart 8 more than the next person, and the DLC was awesome, but even I know when it's time to move on, and it's time to move on. I'm fully expecting us to finally see the next Mario Kart game, and I do think that's going to be...
It makes you wonder what in the world kind of ad... What's going on? All right, yeah. Well, it makes you wonder what kind of like differences they're gonna be making with the game. Like are they gonna put new powers in it? I'm sure they will, bro. But like like I don't know how different can you really make Mario Kart? I don't know.
very soon, and I think it could be a very big launch game or holiday title. And this is the game that I think a lot of people are keeping their eyes on. You see how well Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold? It's the reason why it's been going on for so long. It's the reason why it even deserved to get DLC. It's just because the game is massive. It's one of the biggest, best-selling video games of all time. So Nintendo's going to want to capture that lightning in a bottle and try to replicate it for Switch 2. And I think the best way to do that is to launch the game very early with Switch 2 and have constant, consistent updates over multiple different years as we continue through the life cycle of Switch 2. The same way we got that giant booster pass of DLC, we should get something like that from the very beginning, giving us tons of updates like new tracks, new characters, and just tons of things that we can add to the game over time in order to keep people invested and keep people purchasing throughout the entire life cycle of Switch 2. All the games that I mentioned so far are going to be pretty huge, but this game in particular has the chance.
Like, it has to be big. Like, it can't. You have to change it up. You can't just stick with the same thing, bro. Like, do we have, like, even like Wii and like Mario Kart 8 are a little too similar for me, for my taste.
Chance to be absolutely perfect, not with just how good the game is, but also with its sales and with its connection with fans, considering the fact that you also can play Mario Kart online. So if they also have some fun online modes and great connectivity, I can't see why anybody that's anyone wouldn't want Mario Kart whatever the next game's called on their Switch 2 day one. So I'm hoping Nintendo is smart about this, and this is going to be a huge game for them this year. It would only make sense after waiting almost 11 to 12 years for the next Mario Kart game. When I look at the list of anything else that could be announced for 2025, realistically, I don't see many other games making the cut. Like, for instance, I don't think it's time for the next Kirby or Splatoon, and I also don't think we'll see Smash Brothers. It's definitely time for Smash Brothers, as it's closing in on like 7 years now, but I don't think it's going to make the cut for 2025. It might get announced, but we won't actually get a release. I kind of wanted to include a Mario Maker or even Luigi's Mansion, but I still feel like those might be...
Luigi's Mansion will be so good, bro.
Year 2 games. So the main thing that came to my mind is, what about Star Fox? It's been so long since Star Fox Zero back on the Wii U. At this point, everyone's waiting to see what in the world's going to happen with this franchise. Is it dead in the water? Is it going to continue?
That's so true. Star Fox, I don't know if it's popular enough though, bro. I don't know if it's...
I think a lot of people would love to see Star Fox return, especially if they put in effort into this game the way they do with some of their bigger IPs like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. So imagine if we got that same amount of effort, but for a new Star Fox game this year.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like, I mean, hey, they could make Star Fox into this huge game that, that like surpasses like Metroid. I honestly think they could do it if they focus enough attention on the game, but I don't think they will, unfortunately. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Make sure to go check out Nintendo, bro. Homeboy's pretty lit. Homeboy's awesome. But yeah, I mean, what do you think is gonna happen in 2025? I think 3D Mario and Mario Kart is probably our best option. But let me know what you guys think. Woo! It's coming soon. Super soon.